Welcome back to another episode of Mr. U's Garage. On this episode, I'd like to show you a tool that we need to use for a lot of different things when we are working on cars. So I'd like to present to you the torque wrench. Before I explain the different parts of this wrench, I need to first explain to you what torque is. Torque is the amount of twisting force that you are going to apply to a particular bolt. Torque is commonly measured in foot-pounds or Newton meters. This is the measurement for the exact amount of force that you are going to put on that particular bolt. This is important because certain things, such as wheels, require a certain amount of force. Most wheels require 85 foot-pounds of torque when the nuts are put on. At this end of the torque wrench is the head. This is the switch for the ratcheting mechanism. This determines whether we are removing a bolt or putting a bolt in. This is where we attach our socket. This is a 1/2-inch drive, so it takes 1/2-inch drive sockets. On this end, we have the reason that this is called the torque wrench. We have a scale, and this torque wrench goes to 150 foot-pounds. So what we do is there's a nut back here that we loosen, and then we can spin this collar up until it lines up with the torque setting that we need. So I twisted the collar to give this a setting of 80 foot-pounds. Well, how do you know that it's set at 80 foot-pounds? Well, the long line that goes up from the zero lines up with that center line that goes from the collar all the way up to the top. So from here, this line lines up with this line, goes up here. Okay, that's the center line. Now from the 80, there is another small line that kind of goes diagonal down to the center. So the top of the collar goes up to that line. That's how we know that it's at 80. So what do you do if you want it to make it read 85 like we need to use to torque our wheels? So what I've done now is turned the collar a little bit further so that the line between the 4 and the 6, which would be the 5, is lined up with that same line I did earlier for the 0. So now we have 85 foot-pounds of torque, which is what we need to properly torque a wheel. On the end of this is this little screw right here. What I need to do is tighten it up, so now that will hold this collar at 85 foot-pounds. When I need to move this again to a different setting, I just loosen that up, and then I can twist this collar again. But right now we're going to leave it tightened so we can stay at 85 foot-pounds. Okay, so now the torque wrench in action. This is called a click-type torque wrench because when it gets to the maximum torque, it's going to make a click sound. So I've put this wheel on, and now I need to make sure that it's in the proper torque at 85 foot-pounds. So I'm going to tighten this lug nut until it clicks. So once it's made that click noise, that is tight. We don't need to go any tighter. So again, all you have to do is tighten it up, and then when it gets hard, it'll make a click, and that's all the farther we need to go. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mr. U's Garage. I hope you have found the information on this torque wrench helpful and that you will be able to use it to take care of your own car in the future. Thank you.